Could you be the dream I once knew? Deja vu. So yes, it's another deja vu video because this is the third model of a L'Or Blanc that I've purchased now. The first one was a black one that was glow in the dark, which is a cool feature, but I don't think they ever made a black L'Or Blanc on this particular body style. The Grand Sport, yes, but not this one. So then I bought another blue one thinking I was going to get this, but the blue is on top instead of white. So that turned out to be the Grand Sport, which does exist in that colorway. But this is the one that started it all, is the just L'Or Blanc on this body style, the older body style, with a white top and blue striping on the bottom. So this is a double deja vu model for me, being the third one. So we're not going to talk about much the car or anything like that. You can look up the other L'Or Blancs and learn about that. But this will be interesting if there's good quality control. The other two seem perfectly fine. This will be the third one now from LJM, and if this one's in good quality control, this is a pretty trustworthy brand as far as getting a good model. Now, licensing is a whole different thing. If that affects you, this is not a licensed model, to my opinion. I don't see anything about Bugatti or Volkswagen Group or anything like that. Alright, let's get this thing open. There is tape there. Yeah, so you got to take that off. And then, so we've seen these images before because I thought this was the model I was getting the 2 times before. So you got to really pay attention to the photographs apparently, because these guys are trying to, make as much money as they can off of their molds. And it's very easy to make these mistakes. This is not the first time I've made these mistakes before, because I'm just not researching stuff before I buy it. It just looks good in the photograph, so I buy it. But now I'm learning expensively to try to do a better job. Just quickly, there's a photo etched metal piece, and there's about 700 of these things, I think. Let's see. Yeah, so quite a few, right? Still a lot less than Hot Wheels, but still quite a few for resins. Historically, resins are like 300, 200. I think I may have even seen 100 before for one colorway. Okay, so now we have a white top and dark blue striping. And then we only have 2 big vents on the sides. So this looks like the original car that has this wacky paint job by a ceramics company. It also has the matching wheels, this type of wheel design. The Grand Sport has different styles. And it's got the funky wing going on. Alright, so here's our rear view. You notice in the daytime it has what look like white lenses. With the brake lights on, they're quite red, but I wanted to pull this up specifically because the model has white lenses in the back. Okay, this reflector in the rear quarter panel is also there, so that all looks good. And then here's the top view. And yes, right now my camera makes those stripes look black, but as you'll see, it is quite blue. And this is going to be a tough one to remember, but the interior has got some wacky striping as well, and it's a dark blue as again. Alright, let's look at this thing. We have an acrylic glued base. Is it a used model? I don't think it is. This looks perfectly smooth. I don't feel any scratches down there, so I'm pretty sure this is new. I got this off AliExpress, no affiliation, so buy your stuff where you can, for as cheap as you can. Alright, so yeah, this is consistent with the other models. I think these might be 3D printed wheels because there's all these little weird looking step lines. Unfortunately, they don't print the wheels in a way that they could avoid that. I think they printed the wheels at an angle, but you really don't need to when they're this small. I learned that by making my Hot Wheels 3D prints. Look at that EB logo. It's upright. It looks fantastic. I think it's a photo etched piece of metal. You got a bunch of recesses. I don't think those are bolts in the center cap, just maybe recessed details. And then you can see the cross drilling of the brake rotor back there in the properly swept fashion. And then you can see that brake caliper. The question is it 3-dimensional? I can't remember since the last time I reviewed one of these things. It's very flat. So that's a kind of a lame design decision. There's plenty of room to have a molded 3D caliper, but I think it's literally just red paint on top of that rotor. So, for a cost of a resin, for the detail you expect out of a resin, that's very weak. That's something I'd expect like Hot Wheels to do. The tire is nice and rounded, looks pretty nice. You'll notice it's actually floating, the front end. They didn't screw it down much. I don't mind that, but the rear end is definitely screwed down, maybe possibly too much actually. The metallic blue on the bottom is looking nice, nice small flakes. And look at the striping. I don't remember that in my other reviews, but it's very good. You see, the door cuts, there's no white in there. That could be the way the real car is. It's hard to say, but there's no white going inside of the door cuts, right? That's impressive. One thing, though, that they missed is a white stripe over the door handle. That is on the real car. Okay, yeah, the photo-etch gas cap is nicely detailed, some bolt details, and possibly even paint in the middle. It looks like a different texture, see? The mirror has the graphic on it and a shiny sticker to look realistic. There's a photo-etch piece of painted black metal on the outside of this super thin window, and that has blackout printing on the inside surface. Oh, that all looks fine. We saw the reflector. That's probably red resin on top of a piece of metal, if I had to guess. This rear vent here is a grill. Oh boy, look at that. Well, we know there's air behind there. I'm gonna have to go and add some glue later. Alright. So it's really, you know, not advisable to take these out of the boxes. That's why there's tape on them. But I do it because I want to see all the details. So I'm going to put it back in the box after this video, after I glue that back. I guess it could have been nice if they added black paint in that recess there, and then added this grill. Maybe I'll do that myself. Okay, anyway, it's nice to see something in the license plate, and I think that's probably printed on a piece of metal because it's so thin. There's also a piece of metal surrounding this area here, but I'm not sure if this is supposed to be black. You know, it's the same blue as the rest. I'm going to assume this is the exhaust. So I kind of feel like that should probably be painted dark gray or gunmetal or something, not blue. The strakes here I think are made of plastic because they're kind of thick. The EB logo is a piece of metal. I think this is a third brake light. It's not put on quite flat. I'm not going to pick at it, leave it alone. Under the wing it's actually blue, it's nice. There's black underwing, and then we have nice molding for the strut system lifting that up. So the lights themselves look shiny and white because I think they're literally photo etched pieces of metal, maybe with some resin on them. Alright, looks good. This all looks alright, except for those brake calipers are lame. Oh, this vent here. I think there must be a piece of metal in there, or some plastic with the grill texture. In the front, though, it does not. It's just bottoming out. I think it would have been smarter if it just went through to the tire. Front grills, yeah, nice and shiny stainless, it looks like. And I think, again, probably something behind, just maybe an air pocket. That one might have a small dent in it. Yeah, okay. So the Bugatti badge there looks alright. And in general, the paint looks pretty good. You know, I think this blue stuff is under the clear coat. Like, I think this is all a decal, all this graphic, but I think it's under a clear coat. I might be mistaken, but look how smooth it is. It's much smoother than any decal I've ever seen. You know, so I think that's probably great. Alright, some silver here painted, looks good. The headlights are nice. I'm touching a smooth surface, but you can clearly see molded details behind it. Light bulbs and whatever those strakes are. Wiper blades, they're photo etched pieces, but I don't, well, you know, maybe they are bent perpendicular to the windscreen. Hard to say. You'll have to decide. Hold on. Yeah, they do look like they might be bent. They're just so thin and dark, it's hard to really tell. Alright, we have a grayed out tinted moonroof, but the windshield is clear. We'll get to the interior later. These intakes here have that striping on them and photo etched pieces of metal like the front grills. And then we have some photo etched metals here as well, and some black paint it looks like here, some silver, pretty nice details. Some extra maybe decal residue. It comes off. Maybe if you take a Q-tip you'll get it out. Yeah, it's not permanent, whatever that is. Down here you got some heat shielding, I think, for that exhaust. It goes in quite deep, all this stuff here. That's pretty neat. The door handles, you can see, are sticking out, and actually, well, maybe it's got a little finger pull. Alright. And then we have another gas cap there. Oh, that's the porcelain elephant, I think, in that gas cap. Hold on. Yeah. Because this is supposed to be like built with a ceramics company. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be a piece of porcelain in the gas cap with an elephant logo. That's impressive that they got that detail. While we're zoomed in, you can see we have a white center console with some silver, that transmission actuator sticking up, and there you go on that door panel. Let me hit focus again. There you go. See the striping like that photograph. So that's very realistic to the real car. Very impressive. Alright. I like to say the word impressive a lot. I think it's because I watch that Project Farm channel. That's a great channel. And he always says that. Alright, so the EB logo. Yeah, I'm sure that's a decal in the center of the steering wheel because it's quite shiny. Let's see if we can see into the gauges. Maybe if I shine through the sunroof or moonroof. I don't know if there's gauges. Let me try a brighter flashlight. Okay, sorry for the vibrations. This thing is on a suspended boom, one of those spring-like lamp arms. But when it was on the ground, it kept on knocking it around, even worse than this. I'm using a really bright light, but I do think there probably are gauges in that dashboard. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so maybe some white on black gauges. Not sure if I saw those in the other reviews. It's pretty recessed back there, it looks like. There's also some silver vent details to the right of the center console. Maybe there's a clock in the top of that center console right there. That's pretty neat. The floor, I see a foot pad on the left side. I don't think there's any pedals down there. That's kind of an oversight. Almost all resin brands seem to have pedals, but not this one. So, but it doesn't really bother me. I'd rather have the outside look nice than having an extra part that makes it more expensive that you probably wouldn't even see ever again. Alright, so, red for the seatbelt buckle. Oh, this light might be too bright. This is a lower lumen count here. Okay, so the seats themselves, well, first there's the mirror. Unfortunately, it's just a piece of metal. It's super thin. It doesn't look realistic. So a lot of other brands will actually mold their mirrors out of plastic and make them look thick and realistic. There's that elephant in the middle between the seats. So that's a great attention to detail. There's actually openings between in the seat headrests for some sort of harnesses maybe to come through, or just air. Recesses, maybe they're using that for another mold and they'll have like an EB logo there. But I guess this real car probably doesn't have it. So they skipped that. I think there's silver paint on the door. Maybe that's the door handle there, that little recess. I think it's a great interior. Yeah, maybe a window switch right there on the armrest. Okay. And there's a quilting pattern, it looks like, in the middle of the seats. So, yeah, quality control wise, I think it's actually quite good, except for maybe that vent that's about to fall off. But if you never touched it, you would probably never know, right? I went and poked at it, so that's kind of my fault. Again, there's a reason why they tape these boxes together. They don't want you doing what I'm doing. You know, I'm just going to leave it alone. Oh, no, I'm going to have to glue that back. Alright, I'll be back. If you're curious, I just have school glue in this little metal tip thing. Sometimes it dries out, I just put a Hot Wheels axle through it, or you put like a sewing needle through it and push it out. So I put a dab of that in there, and then took some extra out with just a eyelash Q-tip, and then just put it in with tweezers. And so the good part about school glue is it doesn't react with the paint. It doesn't strip paint or cause any weird reactions. If you screw up, you just remove it with some water and start again. So that's what's going on with this one. Alright, so the very first one I got is this, glow in the dark one. It doesn't glow very bright. It does glow. I do like the tan interior because it's, just good color contrast. But otherwise, the mold is pretty much the same, it seems, just different color, right? And, oh, it does have red taillights. Yeah, and that EV logo is white, just like this one. But this is the second one, the mistaken one, where it turns out to be a whole different mold. You see the two vents up front? It's got different exhausts. So this is a Grand Vitesse, I believe it's called. A Veyron Vitesse. And it still has this kind of paint job, but it's flipped. You know, it's blue on top now. Yeah, so these two exist in the real world. I don't know about that particular color on this body style existing in the real world. Possible. I don't track Bugattis for a living, so I don't know. But at least I got these two. That's what I'm happy with. I might sell the black one off. I guess I don't need a glow-in-the-dark car. Okay, well, I guess that's it. So, again, you can watch the reviews of these other two if you want. Search the channel. Well, I gotta say, overall quality control at LJM seems pretty good. 3 identical models. I don't recall any major problems with any of them. So, LJM, good stuff. And I think I have a Porsche from those guys, like an Arsham Porsche that was nice. And possibly even a different model that was nice as well. So, well, I guess the question is, will they continue, making models? Because, again, it's unlicensed. I hope they do. They seem nice. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next resin video. Bye. Deja vu.